Dwayne Thomas. All right. Unfortunately, you are on sick leave from the race team, but cool scoop about your career. You are the service manager at the shop at Moto Zealy.
Correct.
The shop we race out of. So I'm pumped to have you here so we can chew the fat a little bit about bike stuff later on, a little bit about the shop. We could talk about, some of those things after we cover results. But before we get into all that, I do need to tell everybody that I am sincerely sorry, and it is 100% my fault. The previous 2 rounds, I deleted. It was a huge mistake, and there was no undoing it. I actually contacted Apple. I contacted, treat it like a murder. If you had to dig into it, if you had to dig deep and recall this stuff.
Couldn't do it.
Couldn't do it, man. Nobody could help me out. So I'm sorry. It's growing pains. It's something that I learned that not to do moving forward, but I couldn't undo it. So that podcast, Bo Bowman was up here. I'm going to get him back up here because it was a good one, and we'll try to make up for that one. But sorry about that. Moving forward, we're going to cover the Western Reserve Wrecker.
Absolutely, we will.
We're going to do the top 20 overall just because of time. And I apologize if we miss any specific class that's like a youth, because there's all kinds of little different broken up classes in there that,
right.
You
Get your Pee-wee, you got your
it
youth
says
quad,
youth quad junior, youth quad sport.
It's all about CCs.
Yeah,
probably a lot of it same kids riding the class.
Yeah,
have you?
So, parents, you want your kid mentioned? Let's do some work. Let's get him up in the top 20.
Right.
So
bring him to the shop. Let him introduce himself and be a professional.
Yeah.
We love that. Jim's a huge family guy.
Yeah.
And loves to give opportunity. So.
For those that don't know, Jim is the owner of Moto Zealy.
Correct. Jim Accazelli.
Accazelli?
Accazelli.
I always wondered what the exact...
Yeah, it's a Deca thing.
Accazelli.
Accazelli.
The beginning doesn't even matter. It's just a Dezelli.
Yeah, we got a motorcycle.
Yeah, supposed to meet the ball.
Great dude.
Yeah. He is a great dude. When I walked up and just started spitting out these big ideas to him,
right. Correct.
He didn't say, "Hey, dude, there's the door."
Right. If it wasn't for our goofy dreams, he would have punted us 100 years ago. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's bust through these results.
Absolutely.
And then we'll chew the fat a little bit. Sound good?
Where do you want to start, bro?
We are going to start with the Western Reserve Wrecker Youth Quad. And I'll cover the top 10, and you could take 11 through 20.
Youth Quad.
And these names, man, these guys are always up top.
Now, the overall will pretty much cover all that, correct?
The classes?
Hmm?
Yeah, I mean, it should dabble into all of them. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would think. But like I said, there's just, we tried to cover every single class and stuff. It just takes so much time.
Sure, go ahead.
So, Jam and Brown. These names are backwards, by the way, in case you didn't know.
Correct.
You see this. You've been on here.
I've coveted it.
Yeah. Jam and Brown. Andy Hovis in second. Braylon Preston in third. Haley DeWalt in fourth. Colton Redmond, fifth place. Mason Pasquarella, sixth place. Avery Hitt, seventh. Austin Miller in eighth. Austin Harshbarger, ninth. And Dawson Matzel in 10th.
Eric Wasson on a Yamaha.
There we go.
And it seems to me, with the exception of the last 2 or 3 places, this is a Yamaha-dominated class. I just may throw that out there.
It seems like, yep.
Yeah. Race Blaney, Jacob Pinkerton, Clinton Wilson, Jaden Pinkerton, Caitlin, I can only imagine as a girl, Harrisberger. I mean, this is all Yamaha stuff. Tyler Davis, Levi Miller, Logan Trimble, Brian Miller, and Amory DeSelm. Yep. The only dude rode anything outside of Honda Yamaha.
Oh.
He was on unknown.
Yeah.
But
which was probably one or the other.
Something else, right?
Yeah.
Probably his first show up, what have you.
Yeah.
It's cool to see that that's kind of a dominated class by brand loyal stuff.
Yeah.
I like that.
And, today's podcast, obviously we have Dwayne in here from MotoZilla Yamaha, so we are going to focus on the dealership and we're going to focus on the brand.
I'm biased.
So, yeah.
Totally
you know
biased.
what? I told you a story earlier. They work for me. I don't ride Yamaha because of the fat paychecks.
Right.
I mean,
none of us do.
it's because I like blue, the color. Everyone knows that. That's a joke. Terrible joke. But I'm comfortable on a Yamaha, man.
I was a Springfield Tiger. I still hated orange then.
All right, let's see. What's next? We're going to bust through these bad boys.
Go ahead. Tell me where I need to be.
All right, we're going to go back a couple and go to
Pee-wee bike or youth quad?
We are going to go back to youth bike.
Youth bike overall. All right. Hair screamer.
And then Western Reserve Wrecker.
Come on now.
There we go. Man, these guys. These names are all familiar. I'm seeing these names every time we do this.
Familiar.
Yeah, familiar names up top. And a couple of them swapped, so that's always good. See some competition. You don't want anybody to just check out and run away with it. So at the top, again, I'm going to double check here. We are at the Western Reserve Wrecker. That is youth bike. And Kean Rupp with the overall. Congratulations. Joshua Verrill in second. Matt Alston in third. Colton Motchak fourth. Garrett McLaughlin fifth. Tucker Kenry sixth. Cale Willis seventh. Remington Laufrey eighth.
Wow, that's crazy because I was just on the last page of that.
Yeah.
It's almost identical.
Yeah?
Yeah, I mean, to a T.
Yeah.
Yeah. Youth points.
We could probably go through lap times and like dissect
Right,
all the
right.
stuff, but
Somebody filled out.
we don't have that time.
Yeah.
Brecken Benofsky, 9th, and 10th place was Isaac Leitner. So 11 through 20 is all you, buddy.
10. Yeah, Isaac Leitner.
There you go.
We'll go to 20.
Yep.
Chris Britton. Parker Davenport. Wyatt Beck. Wouldn't imagine that would be any relation to Dave Beck, which I have lots of struggles with. Mason Zoe. Michael Meyer. Tatum Hoffman. Clayton Parrish. Bryce Rostard. Connor Beckley. Cooper Stickley.
Yep.
Now, the thing I need people to understand, there were 83 kids signed up for that class. This isn't, we're not talking about the top 20
Of 25.
of 25. This is 83 dudes
Wow.
who mom and dad got them up, slapped them some eggs, and said, we're going to go race dirt bikes. That's badass.
Yeah, it is. 83
youth bikes. Just
That's
wrap your head
impressive.
around that for just a second. You know, in every sport that I've ever been involved with other than dirt bikes, the youth isn't coming. Drag racing, snowmobiles.
Right.
All this shit that I've ever
Right.
done. This thing is where it's at.
Yeah.
For sure. That's impressive.
Yeah. And these guys, I think youth, I'm assuming these guys are on like 85s or something.
Correct. You got to be under an 85cc bike, and depending on your age and the overall, I would imagine the Kawasaki's and Huskies are 105s or 100s or what have you. But yeah.
So
for sure.
basically, this is the next wave of guys
Fast
that are going to
dudes.
come up and
Yeah.
smoke me
Right.
if I'm still racing.
Right. They're going to give you the honk.
Yep. Yo, old man, get out of my way.
Right. That's
It's coming.
83 kids. Just think about that. That's awesome.
Yeah.
For sure.
Let's see what's okay. So you
What
got
do you
to
want to do next?
click back a few,
Yep. Gotcha.
and then we're gonna go to Pee Wee Quad.
Pee Wee Quad. Overall point stings.
Yep.
Nope. That's not the right one.
Western Reserve overall. And let me see. Let's see how many people did this one. Okay, so Pee Wees, still a solid turnout for a Pee Wee, for Pee Wee classes, but there's 20. So we'll buzz through those 20 as well.
Right. Western Reserve record. Pee Wee Quad.
Yep. Overall.
And you want the overall?
Yep.
Yeah, I'm right along with you.
We'll cover them all.
Go ahead.
So Clinton Wilson, congratulations on your overall.
Honda.
Deegan Weeble, second place.
On a DRR. Two-stroke, I would imagine.
I don't even know what that is.
Yeah.
I feel like I've seen
He mixes
those.
his gas.
Yeah. Logan Trimble in third. Kendall Redmond, fourth. Zane Sterling, fifth. Sixth, Jack Jacobs. Seventh, Cade Marsh. Briar Miller in eighth. Bailey Wright in ninth. And 10th place was John Diver.
Peyton Dieter, 11th. Tanner Christie. Levi Miller. Aubrey Ruckdashell. Sorry if I messed that up. Ruckdashell.
Yep.
Jonathan Anderson. Chase Fleming. Braxton Sterling. Jacob Stringfield, sorry.
Yep.
Kaya Pancake.
That's
and
right.
Deegan Tablet. Now, again, Polaris's, Kawasaki's, DRRs. That's a crazy class.
Yeah.
What are you parents building?
I want to see. I think
They're
the
like
the DRR. I think I've seen them. Them things sound
old
nasty.
School two-stroke big pipes. They're
Yeah.
usually wrapped up. Yeah, they're gnarly.
They sound
Pissed off.
They do. They do.
Yeah.
I wish I had something like that when I was that age. So, now that brings us to Pee Wee Bike. And the overall for Pee Wee Bike at Western Reserve. Maddox Hudnall with the overall. Trevor Mitchell, second. Brooks Bully, the Bully Boys Racing Team. That's a friend of mine. Shout out to those guys. Third overall, man. Good job. Ashton Lees. Here we go. Dino Mecco Monaco. How'd I do? Do you see it?
I'm still struggling to get there.
I'll take my time. Brody McLaughlin in sixth.
Pee Wee Quad.
Ryder Zoel in seventh.
Can't get it. I don't know what happened.
Hunter Cross in eighth. That's all right. We'll work it out.
Good. You just take that one.
Okay. Trigg Grant in ninth. David Grimm in 10th. Camden White, 11th. Bryce Lease, 12th. Remington Meyer, 13th. Cade Loudermilk.
Yeah, Loudermilk. That's a old school family.
Loudermilks?
Yeah, they used to have a farm, and then they turned into like riders, and yeah, remember that?
I knew some quiet milks.
No, these are loud people.
Man, my humor's on point, ain't it? Shoot. Trevor Snyder, 15th. Hannah Cohen, 16th. Tegan Hoffman, 17th. Brock Woodford, 18th. Cohen Matthews, 19th. And Ryder Coffee rounding out the top 20 overall. Good job, kids.
Fantastic, I must add, to see the amount of entries with youth. It's
Yeah.
man, if your kid plays soccer, that's cool, but this is way better.
If you ask me, it is.
Yeah, little Jimmy, he won't get his shin broken unless he messes up. It's all good.
That was Pee Wee Bike, right?
I think you said that.
I'm double checking. Just can't miss anybody.
Correct.
Yeah. So, yep. That's it. Pee Wee Bike. So that brings us to adult quad.
Oh, let's talk about that for just 1 second, if I must. The Western Reserve record. Most excited I've been for adult quad all year, I will say.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Why's that?
Because I love me some Kenny Blankensheen.
Ah, that's right.
That's do.
Right.
I've known Kenny a long time.
Yeah.
And he's a great dude. He's a great rider. Where he went wrong and started to ride 4 wheels, I don't understand.
Yeah, I was grinding on him a little bit.
Yeah.
The last
Great
round.
dude. He's equal rider, I would say, on 2 wheels with me, and we've thrashed it out a lot. And he's a fun dude.
Yeah.
And he bought this silly quad, and I'm like, good for you. And he went and won a championship last year, and he came back and committed to it again. And of course, I watched that class. I'm biased to Kenny, for sure. So the overall with Western Reserve Wrecker is less than his typical performance for sure. First lap, he had some trouble.
Yeah, he hit something.
He was not himself when he came back. I think both of us were in that same, situation and saw. But yeah, that was rough. He's a great rider and a strong dude.
Yeah.
Just a bad circumstance.
And he's been getting a little better too.
He's been moving up.
Yep, and that's what we want.
Yep.
That's what we're looking for for people to keep pushing to get better. So
he'll be around next year.
Let's see.
What do you want to hit?
Western
Overall?
Reserve Wrecker adult quad overall, and
Gotcha.
there was
looks
85.
like 85 guys.
Yeah.
Right. Yep. That's what I see.
85 big quads. All right, we're going to do top 20 as well.
Gotcha. XC.
So, before I forget, don't let me forget. Pros are not
Correct.
on this.
Correct.
We have to go back to
pro
that.
class, right?
Yeah, so we will touch on pro quad after this overall. This is the amateur overall. So, Keaton Henderson, first place. Congratulations on your win. Parker Henderson. That's cool. Got to be some relatives there ripping
Obviously.
together.
Obviously.
That's awesome.
Both on Yamahas, by the way.
Yep. Parker Henderson second. Jessica Ilioff in third. Strong
How about
rider.
that? How
Yeah.
about that?
I got a hold of
about
Jessica because obviously she's an awesome quad racer, and I was like, you got to come on the podcast. And she was all about it, and then we found out she was like almost 2 hours away or something, and we just couldn't make it work out. I don't know how to do remote stuff yet.
Right.
But I saw that she did get an amateur overall at
Last year?
no, it was this year.
This year?
It was like one of the first or second round or something.
Crazy.
But
She
yeah,
can hammer. She
yeah,
can hammer.
she's flying. So, congrats.
She was on the podium for XC Quad XC 1A. I mean, that's stellar.
Yeah. Ethan Helbig in fourth, Shane Reese in fifth, Blake Norman sixth, Tyler Van Luke,
Nice 2 O's.
Stephen Burt in eighth, Logan Case ninth, and Jeremy Gashard 10th.
That's where about your X or QXC 2B guys show up. Preston Rapzak, Mitchell Krillo, Stephen Barshak, Eugene Fraticelli. He might eat pasta.
Fraticelli, yeah.
Ben Neville, Jim Hamworth. Lots of Yamahas in here, boys. Ron Barbeck, Jeff Davis, Nathan Shields. My old dude from back in the day, Nick Miller, comes in the shop all the time.
Oh, yeah.
Top 20 overall from XC 1A. Didn't have a good race. Something happened. He's just a cool dude. Love him.
Nick Miller
from Bristolville, Ohio.
Yeah. He's shown up here as vet plus 30.
You're correct. Vet plus 30. Yeah.
Oh, okay. You said something about 1A.
Oh, sorry, my bad. I was looking. The Bobby Guilford was right under him.
Okay.
I think that put him in first for the class.
It looks like it.
Yeah. Smooth Rider, another one of those guys. I think next year we're going to reach out to try to get him more acclimated with what we're trying to accomplish. He's a stud.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nick Miller. Love me some
One
Nick
of these
Miller.
days, I keep threatening. One of these
He's
days.
got a pet pig, which is weird.
Weird, dude. In today's world, everyone wants pigs.
Weird. Right, yeah.
Everybody, they love it.
Everybody's weird.
Yeah.
Anyway, Nicky Miller, big shout out, bro.
So, when we go back, let's see, overall. So, when we go back, we have to go to QXC Pro.
Gotcha. Race results.
Yeah, this looks correct because I remember hearing there were 6 of them. And for some listeners that don't necessarily go to these races or know much about them, I don't know how many might be listening, but 6 pros at a local race is good, especially like quads. Sometimes there'll just be 1 or 2. So 6 pros showing up is awesome. And I know at these EROCs, I think we've had 10 or 12 before. These guys are doing some pro rounds that are paying big cash payouts. So they come out of the woodwork when the money's there. But
it's fun to watch those guys. It's they're on a whole nother level.
Oh yeah. Yeah, we'll talk about levels. I love talking about levels. I do. Like I told you earlier, man, I nerd out about all this stuff. So I'll do top 3.
Adult bike, I'm still struggling to get to.
We're on adult,
View
quad,
race results. Adult quad, we were.
QXC Pro.
Yeah, see, I got nothing.
That's all right. Cody Forrester first. Chris. Man, my eyes are playing games with me. Chris McCanlon second. Alex Ilioff third, and I believe that's Jessica's husband. Nick Mastrangelo fourth. Cole Richardson fifth. And Andrew Banofsky in sixth.
Yeah, you got something different than I got.
That's Western Reserve Wrecker, QXC Pro.
Didn't realize that some of the local boys like that showed up. That was really cool. I know that at the Wrecker, Johnny Gallagher is standing on the starting line. Like, for real.
Yeah.
Like, he's 42 years old, been paid by Yamaha to race four-wheelers his entire life. Really cool. Really cool. Yeah, our series has definitely gathered that caliber.
Yeah. And we talked about, let's see, before I get lost here, we did the quad pros. So now that brings us to adult bike. '21 EROC Series adult bike. Here we go. Western Reserve Wrecker. And overall. Yep. How you doing over there? Dialed. So let's look at this.
I never imagined some orange thing was going to get the overall. George Mason, good for you. Or Mason George.
Mason George. Yeah, two first names. You ever hear you never trust a man with two first names?
Correct.
245 bikes.
245 bikes, and by literally seconds to our two teammates.
Right. 245 bikes, and that's not including the pros. But
right.
Yes, we will talk about our teammates and whatnot as we go down this list. But top 10, like you said earlier, I think we have a few in the top 10.
Every race.
Yeah, I didn't make the cut this time, but you know what? We're going to re-rack them next round and give it another shot. But anyways, Mason George, congratulations. Mason I don't really know him. I know of him. I've been around him. He trains at my buddy Joel Youngkin's facility, Joel Youngkin's Training. He rides a small bore two-stroke, and obviously he rides the wheels off of it.
Right.
And I said this before, talking about like riding style and stuff, and like you hear on TV all the time, like this guy rides like a seasoned vet or mature or however you want to word it. Now, talking about how this kid rides in the woods, I've been around him on the track. For his age, he doesn't look, when you're riding behind him, he doesn't look his age, if that makes any sense. You know, like when you watch him ride, he looks like he's been doing it a while.
Right. He's smooth.
He is smooth,
Smart.
and his speed comes with that. And yeah, he's a great rider. So hats off, Mason. Good job, man.
For sure. You beat
small
some
board
really strong
Yeah,
dudes.
yeah, including our teammate Jeff Bowman in second place, and my cousin Chad in third overall. So
Off the couch.
yeah, pretty much off the couch.
Off the couch.
Has not really done. Well, you know, we did a little bit of riding in the spring. We went down to Georgia. You know, his back was giving him some issues. Has not had much seat time. We went out, made sure everything was going to be okay. We did a ride before he came back out, and did some single track, and he felt good enough, and he came out. And I'm sure most everybody listening to this is going to know who Chad was, because at one time, you know, he was winning money class regularly in another series that, you know, they call it money or pro class, but he's a great,
strong rider, big kid,
real great,
very humble.
Yeah, natural. And
Absolutely.
Bowman, I mean, these two guys here,
That's a good battle.
Bowman, you know, same thing. Like, he hasn't been putting in a bunch of hours, as far as I know.
Right.
You know.
Kind of off the couch, 3 kids, the whole day.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Everybody, like, I'm a dad. Chad's a dad.
Right.
Jeff's a dad. Everybody, you know, like, we're grown ass men that are out there
Right.
trying
to
to hang still. Yeah. I mean,
trying to be relevant.
Yeah. So Jeff and Chad.
And then you see a last name like Vincent or Jake Logan. I mean, these are all guys you're gonna see regularly in any venue you go to.
Yeah. Brad Vincent 4th, Jake Logan 5th.
There we go, Dustin Vincent again.
Jake Logan, another teammate. Right. So we have 3 teammates in the top 5 overall.
Right. Strong.
Team Motozili. Kicking butt, man.
Killing it.
Dustin Vincent 6th. Anthony Burbick, good ride, Anthony, 7th place. Him and I have crossed paths many times.
Yep. His dad and I are cool.
Yep.
But I've known him a long time. Very good family.
Yeah. Mark McGrath. Now, Mark we've been going back and forth this year.
Kind of tight-ish. Yeah, I would even say.
He's a strong rider.
Obviously.
Nice guy. I don't know him real well, but we you know, respect each other for sure. And
Sure.
Congratulations to Mark. He bested me, kicked my butt that round for sure. 9th place was Ty Miles, Matt Modick in 10th.
Bad Chad Tallman in 11th.
There you go.
You gotta love some Chad Tallman.
Yeah, man, on that old Kawasaki 2-stroke. You know, and
he said he had $2,600 invested for the year.
Oh yeah,
cool
in that bike.
Yeah.
You know,
I think he could write a paper envelope and win.
Probably, but some of these dudes, I think they get those older bikes. They're just making a statement.
Right.
You know,
I could ride whatever. It's all cool.
A lot of dudes won't just come out and say that. They're making a statement.
Yeah.
The one statement is, I can ride a pile of crap better than you could ride your brand new bike.
Don't bitch about it. Right.
And yeah, another one is just basically like the capabilities of the machine. You know, it's not all the machine.
They all do the same thing, correct?
Yeah.
Within boundaries.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, he's a impressive rider. I've not known him a long time, but the time I have, I've totally respected him for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Continue on.
It's you, buddy.
Oh, Ian Santai. That was Yamaha. Bad Brad Orr. 13th. Unlucky 13. He got a roo.
Right
He
there.
got a,
See that number?
I see that. Yeah. Hey, look, I got a 2.
Not 2.
Yeah, for my brother. Well, that's another long story.
Okay.
Yeah, Brad was out of his element. Not a top 10 dude, but he got it.
Hey.
Still, hey, Team Motozilli, 13 up, 4 dudes.
Yeah.
Who else is doing this? Nobody.
Yeah. Not proud of that ride.
Noah Alexander for 14th. Landon Beatty. Gary Stauffer. Ryan Alston. John Wood. Zach Miles.
Yep.
Logan Adams. These are names you're going to hear.
That's a top 20 there, buddy.
Every time you go to a race. I mean, that's impressive. I mean, I can go down personally through the top 50 and see guys that I know that I see that are contention for if things are on point for your day,
right,
you're going to have it.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. We said that earlier that, the top 20 in this series, these guys, it's like other series, you'll see a handful of dudes, and you're like, oh, those are all, fast guys and whatever. And then you see, a lot of times you'll just notice like the laps, like the lap will drop where it's like they did 8 laps and then the top 5 did 8. And then it drops to 7 for a group and then 6 for a group.
Right.
Well, let's
you get
see.
the top 50 is all on the same lap.
Yeah.
I would argue. I would argue that.
I mean, this.
Or real damn close.
This one, these laps are a little bit longer in this series, so you don't have those huge jumps, in the laps. But all these guys, I'm looking down the list, like you said, below the top 20, and there's some guys that, like you said, maybe had a bad day,
right,
or whatever, but are easily top 20 guys.
Correct.
And out of 245 of them,
it's impressive results for sure.
yeah. Oh, you know what? Before we go to Pro Bike, I'm gonna lock my computer into Pro Bike before I cover this, so I don't forget about them.
I can't get Pro Bike. I don't know why.
So if you just go back where you clicked on overall, you should be able to scroll down and it should say XC Pro, but there's only going to be a handful. Yeah, 5 of them this time.
Cover it up.
So before I talk about the Pro Bikes, or we talk about the Pro Bikes, I did want to cover timing and scoring. I wanted to cover adjusted time. I believe that I covered that on the last podcast that got deleted, so I want to cover that real quickly, just so people understand, because I've been asked a lot of questions about it, and a lot of people aren't real clear about how it works. So somebody is keeping track of when each class goes.
Right.
As soon as row 1 takes off, the clock starts. Everybody after that is adjusted to that time, to that start time. So a lot of people think there's supposed to be 30 seconds between classes, or there's supposed to be 40 seconds or whatever. That's not true. That's not how they run it. The way they run it is, as soon as it's clear and safe and they see fit, they throw the flag and another time starts. So maybe between row 1 and 2 there was 20 seconds, and maybe between the next one there was 25. It's similar.
It's caught up before you take the second lap.
But every single time a row starts, they go like this: click.
Right.
Another row, click.
Correct.
So you may have a half second of human error starting or something like that, but as far as being accurate, I don't know that there's a better way to do it. I don't know what you could do unless you had like a laser beam across the front of every line,
right,
to start a timer.
And then we would have to spend a $100 entry.
Yeah, right.
Rather than 25.
But I'll tell you, there was a small discrepancy at this last race with the overall, and
Saw that.
and it was boom, it was fixed. I don't know how that happens, but this is the fastest results of
12 minutes was absurd. Sure, somebody figured that out.
yeah.
Yeah.
This was the fastest results like that I've ever been able to, you're done racing, you get changed and everything. You can walk up, they're done.
Correct.
This timing and scoring system is awesome.
It's on point.
So, Ben Nelko, number one. This dude flies. I've been on the track with Ben. He was at a practice track. My Lord. Now, these dudes ride. These pros, they ride.
Nelco, divorce.
Ride.
Yeah, when they come around you, you know it.
Mason Atherton, second place.
Correct.
Dakota DeVore, third. Tyler Soriano, fourth. And Evan Schultz in fifth. So these guys are all, great riders. I don't know the ages of all of them, but
I'm gonna guess they don't have
20s.
kids and wives and right. Yeah, they're killing it.
I think
Good for them.
I think Dakota may still be in his teens.
Yeah.
I don't know who Evan is.
Yeah, just to back
age-wise.
up, like age-wise thing, like the what was the Scheckler?
Yeah, the dirt digger.
Brennan Radulwitz. I've known that kid 10 years.
Oh, really?
He got the overall amateur.
Isn't he from
Like
kind of far
Lisbon.
away?
No, he's a Lisbon kid. My daughter used to hang out with him. Yeah.
The
My daughter's
long-haired
20
kid?
years. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Never wears goggles, total unorthodox, jersey untucked, dirty rider.
Yeah.
Fast.
Yeah.
Young kid.
Yeah, he is young.
Started driving, probably sucks at driving, but can ride a dirt bike.
Yeah.
You know?
Right.
Yeah. Yeah, so the pro level, same thing. It's guys that are just, that opportunity is always in their face.
So earlier we did mention levels.
Yeah. Levels.
It's fascinating to me, and I say this all the time. I watch pros like motocross. I watch them on TV, and I don't understand how they do what they do. And the thing is, I'm a woods racer, but I go and I ride some motocross, and it's, I'm 40 years old. I don't have no aspirations to go pro.
Right.
I'm doing this for fun. And
right.
to be competitive,
Right.
To get my fix, still being competitive. But I still do get aggravated at myself because I watch these guys go that fast, and I'm like, why can't I go a little faster? These guys are going like 10 times faster than me. Like a local. So I went to a motocross track and I started practicing, just getting some exercise. And this dude comes out on the track, and I hear him behind me. And the funny thing is, as soon as I heard the noise behind me, I'm like, this dude's a pro.
Take the right lane.
I heard his turns. I heard his straightaways. I heard him going over the jumps. And I'm like, there's a pro coming up behind me. So I give it the beans, dude. I go as hard as I possibly can. And I'm like, I never look back.
Just keep it right.
I'll move my eyes over my shoulder a little bit, but I'll never turn my head and look back. So I'm just like trying to feel with my ears a little bit, and I'm like, okay, he's not glued to me yet, and I'm freaking putting it down as hard as I can. Well, when he does get me, I hold my line. He blows around the outside of me, and I tuck in behind him because I want to start school. School is in session, right?
Right. Learn.
I tuck in behind him. He hits this turn faster than my brain could compute a turn. And so I try to emulate that, and I do the turn faster than I normally do. And I'm like, well, that was good, like kind of pulled me rather, and then the next turn I charged to get back behind him, went set up for the next turn, went over the next jump, and by the entrance of that next turn, Like he was already starting to disappear a little bit, and I'm like,
Ugh.
I was already breathing heavy. Like I had been doing laps for like 40 minutes, but I tried to pick it up a little bit, and my heart was like, but you talk about levels. So I looked him up. Can't even remember his name. I looked him up, and he's like a 35th place guy or 30th or 25th or something like that. You know, if he makes the mains or
Right.
when he makes the mains.
Right.
And that guy blew my mind. So, again, levels. I mean, I could go on forever, but...
Believe me. I get it.
Yeah. And, yeah, so back to you, man. I'm bummed. I'm bummed for you, but at the same time, you've been showing up to the races with your knee. You had knee surgery. So, we didn't even fill everybody in. The beginning of the year, we went to what I called a scrimmage.
Right.
We went and raced another series.
Yeah. I had,
Yeah, fill them in. I'm going to get us a beer.
man. Yeah, for sure. First race of the year. This story, I probably put it on replay at this point. Yeah, showed up in an El Camino with my son. Dropped the gate in what was Senior 2. Got the whole shot. Led a dominating performance for 4 laps. Had second place minutes behind me at that point.
Wow.
Came off that little ski jump on the top of the hill. Nothing out of the ordinary. Same as it always was.
Did
Safety.
you dab your foot?
Never.
It never came off the peg?
Feet on the pegs. Right leg just said no and separated.
Ugh.
Immediately felt it. Knew exactly what happened. So that's why I've sat this year out. I'm 6 to 9 months from surgery, which was May 28th. I'm doing what I can, and yeah, it sucks to sit this one out. And it's great to be part of it still, like you said.
Yeah.
I haven't missed a race. I wouldn't. To support you guys is it's humbling to just to be around the caliber of guys that what we threw together in a minute.
Yeah,
Literally
in a minute.
Like a minute.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's impressive, man.
Yeah.
In the group of dudes, I just put a little post up on Facebook. I said solid group of dudes. It was a picture
Absolutely.
of the team, but everybody's so
made friends
awesome.
with everyone, hung out with everyone, couldn't be happier. Of course, my son Trevor, everybody knows Trevor, couldn't be happier to be there with me.
Yeah.
That makes it special for me. Of course, it sucks that I can't show my performances and my abilities as well, but I hope that this thing's just going to be what it is next year again, and it just makes me more hungry, man.
Yeah.
I'm not a quitter.
Yeah.
And I'm not going anywhere. This is the industry that I live. This is the life I live, and this is best opportunity I've ever had. Kind of shit on me.
Well, that's all right. I mean, like you said, you come back stronger.
Figure it out.
Yeah, you'll figure it out. You'll come back stronger. I mean, we had, my cousin Chad, like we covered earlier. We talked about his results. His back was messed up. He was on sick leave until this last round. So you and him,
right?
You guys were out, and then Zach was supposed to be on the team. A job opportunity came up, and things didn't work out for him. We started off with 9.
Right. We started off with 9. I think we regularly raced with 6.
Yeah.
There's
but that's
adjusting to do for next year for sure. But what we've been able to accomplish with 6 dudes is astonishing for sure. No doubt.
Yeah. I mean, what did you say? You said you figured out podium positions.
Podium positions. I think we've in the past we're at 5 rounds now. 14 was
14 podiums.
14 podiums out of what we've been able to accomplish with our small team.
Yeah. And
this was the idea behind this whole thing was to challenge other teams, challenge other guys, challenge other racers, dealerships to get with the same program. I feel like we're doing a good job carrying the direction with that.
Yeah.
Lead, follow, or get out of the way.
Yeah. Yeah, it's I know we talked about the idea before, and it would kind of take a really long time to talk about the whole idea as far as like how everything can grow from this.
Right.
But in a nutshell, all race teams are put together as billboards. They're just rolling billboards,
Right.
from the semi truck to the riders' jerseys to all the sponsors on the. It's just advertising.
They
So
remember names, but it's blue, it's red, it's orange.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's all advertising.
Correct.
What dirt bike is the best?
Right.
Like we said earlier, Tallman comes out on an old Kawasaki two-stroke
KX 250.
and rides just as good. Now, can you take that bike to the top level and win? I don't think so. No, you're not going to beat like. Okay, let's take the top 3 guys.
Right.
Let's take
They're all on new shit. And they're
brand
all
new
right,
stuff,
Right.
and then you take a older two-stroke. No, you're not going to win.
No.
Not on that level.
Sooner or later, it's gonna.
Yeah, but
it'll show up.
what we do, off-road stuff, those bikes can still put it down because
For sure.
it's a different beast altogether. But
There's so many variables to each race, to each rider, to each bike.
yeah,
And as nerdy as you get with tires and physique and how you mix your gas, it's so, yeah.
but to finish the point of how this thing came together,
Mhm.
it was just an idea of, hey, let's go back to the way things
Where
used
it
to
came
be.
from.
Yeah, where it came from. Like there was more local support for racers.
Right.
And I don't really know if there was many teams doing what we do, but I saw some groups of guys, and I'll call them teams, that were out of some other shops at the track, and I just thought, well, I know enough guys that are friends of mine that would definitely be down for this, and they ride blue bikes, so I was like, well, what are my options as far as the shops go? But anyway, the idea is to advertise, and with everybody we're in contact with, everybody can benefit from it. So, and then we have the podcast, and we have guests on the show. So, like I said, my buddy Joel was on here. He has a training facility. Everyone is scratching each other's backs.
Correct.
And the more competition you get out there, the more entertaining it is, the more crowds, the more the crowd grows. So you get, more gate fees at the races and et cetera, selling merchandise. Like, it's just building the sport, building the hype and all that. And everyone was super receptive. Everybody was just like, I get it. I got it.
For sure.
Yeah, let's do it. And
very happy to work for somebody that was not hesitant
yeah,
at all.
yeah,
To do what we wanted to do, to give us kind of a free reign. Yeah.
yeah, Jim, and shout out to him because, again,
Wouldn't happen without him.
I called Rob Bitus, because I knew that he was good friends with Jim, and I said, hey, I had been in the shop before, but I'm 30 minutes from there, so I didn't go in there all the time. But I was like, hey, let's get together with your buddy that owns the dealership and have a talk about a team. So I talked to Rob about it, and Rob was like, oh, yeah, good idea. So Rob called him. We got together, and, the first 5 minutes of talking to him, he was just super nice, super receptive, and
Yep.
and I left there going like, holy cow, I guess this thing's
This is
going to
gonna
take
happen.
off.
Right.
And yeah, and it did, boy. And then it was like, well, we need sponsors, we need this, we need gear, we need to get that, we need to figure out team or classes, and it just snowballed and took off so fast. But
No, it's been a good learning experience for everybody. It's definitely been exposure for our shop. Motozilli for sure
yeah,
has had in total change of customer base, and the people that come in there are genuine gearheads, motorsport enthusiasts,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what we want. We want to cater to people that want our professionalism, want to see us at the track, want to see our presence where it makes a difference. And,
Yeah.
and that's
Well,
what his end game was.
he was a racer.
Correct.
You
Yeah,
know,
he was a flat track.
He was
guy.
a flat tracker.
Right.
So he gets the competitiveness and he gets all that. Like some people are just businessmen, you know, but he's a racer and
Right.
and I think that means a lot. So I think that was
Certainly.
a big factor when, you know,
Correct.
pitching the idea about the team. But
We have Royal Enfield flat track. We have Team Motozilli off road.
and
Just a little insight from Team Motozilli. If the Triumph thing takes off the way that they say, we'll be looking for
there you go.
people to ride those as well.
What can you say about this? Do you know anything? You have any dirt? Because, you know, everybody
I
thinks
know,
it's
everybody-
going to be.
and it's just going to be a KTM with a green. No,
No?
Can one thing I can guarantee you is it ain't going to be a green KTM for
Effing.
crying out loud.
For effing sure.
Yes, 100%. Their own thing.
Really?
It's going to be they're after that market. Let's face it. Nobody really targets the pumpkins and the huskies and the sag-sags. They don't. They do their own thing.
Yeah.
And then they just let them go. They're UK-based company. They see that. It's in their backyard. They're getting beat up by it. They want a piece of that. And I think their level of attention to detail, what I see daily with Triumph being a service manager at a Triumph dealership, if they put the same attention to detail with those as they do their street bikes, it's a no-lose.
Wow. That would really stir the pot.
That would upset everything.
That would
for
stir
sure.
the pot, man. You know, I was listening to something else, too, about the market, and you have to wonder how much room there is in the market for other brands. So how many...
I'll give you this much. I do know, unfortunately, being a two-stroke savant, self-proclaimed, 250, 350, 450 was the first introduction that I am aware of.
Okay.
Going to be both in Supercross and what they call Enduro,
Okay.
respectively, different changes. Kind of like the other guys. You know,
Yeah.
you don't have a YZ, you have an X.
YZ.
Yeah. Maybe it's an 18-inch rear. Maybe it's a longer, wider ratio transmission. Maybe it's a softer hit, what have you. There's definitely going to be two different disciplines.
Oh.
That I understand. Pictures of bikes leak you anything, and I don't got nothing. Nothing. They're so it's the most secret.
Let's
of
guess a
secrets.
color.
I hope it isn't pink.
Yeah. Well, you know what? It could be yellow because what's going on with Suzuki, man?
They're like in left field. Who knows? Do they even exist?
Yeah.
Yeah.
How many are in Supercross or like motocross right now?
There might be a few dudes that are like on a bum ride,
Yeah.
but yeah.
It's so sad to me. Same with quads. You know,
You got one manufacturer
do.
making sport quads.
yeah.
Yamaha.
Yeah.
Not to pin Yamaha again or poke them,
Out of the Japanese
for
ones.
real. I mean, there's dudes riding 10, 15-year-old Hondas that are as equally competitive, but they gave up.
Yeah.
Suzuki, same way. LTRs and all that,
And Suzuki was, they pioneered that stuff.
First on four wheels.
Yeah.
Remember that?
Yes. It's sad. I hate seeing these changes.
Been in this game a long time, and I can tell you the things that I've seen and the way that it goes, it's all about the market share.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Yep. Yeah, that's why I wondered. I was curious, how much room is there out there?
That's what makes me wonder about Triumph. Like, really, do you want it that bad? Like, is it going to be that good of a bike? Is it going to be something that you can target this? Like, I would ride one tomorrow. I'll bleed my blue.
Dude.
I'll tune my two-stroke all night, but
you
want to play a Triumph with me next year? You give me a 350 and let me go run XC whatever. Yeah, I'm game.
Put KYBs on it. Sign me up.
Let's get it.
Sign me up for some KYB stuff.
Correct. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what suspension's going to be on there. I don't know what tires. I don't know the discipline.
If it comes with WP, man, listen, I don't want to dog anything, because there's a ton of people that are really, really loving the new WP stuff.
After they spend $1,500.
Well, hey, I spend money on my suspension too.
Yeah, we all hate that too.
Yeah. Right? So I don't want to be too much of a hater, but
out of the crate.
Yeah. Out of the crate. KYB.
Let's say it. Let's just say it.
And you really can't argue with it, because every shootout wins. They win it in every shootout. I think it's old, trusty, just it
fundamentals.
Yeah, they got it. They got it going on as far as those forks go. I think there's other shocks that are right on par, right there with the shock, but those forks just seem to be right out of the box. They seem to be pretty darn good.
I had an old football coach. Perfect practice makes practice. Like, that was his deal. Like, perfect practice makes practice.
Yeah.
I think they've executed that. They've perfected it. They've manipulated it. They've adjusted it for so many years. It just works. It just does.
Yeah. So, the dealership. I know I was bombarded early in the season with people asking about getting on the team. So, we are still developing this as an answer to everybody that is curious. And I know there's some parents out there that are like, hey, what about my kid? And like I said, it's still being developed, and things are being talked about as far as like how it could grow and what it could turn into. But what I've been telling everybody is, go into the shop first and foremost. Go in there.
For sure.
Come
see us. Hang out with us.
Yeah, figure out what you need. If you need something, or go in and introduce yourself.
Right.
Get to know the people. Tell them you're into off-road racing. Tell them you're into what we're doing, and that, you'd like to be considered in the future, and then just keep in touch. Because at this point, there is no real solid answer like, hey, how do I get on the team?
Right. We dreamed this up over a month.
Yeah.
Of serious action.
Yeah.
I think next year, if you're serious about it, kids 38, C-class, whatever.
Right.
If you think you have a strong ride and you want to be part of our team next year, it's time to go. It's time to think right now. Put it on paper. Bring it to our attention, and man, I'd love to see this thing just keep growing.
Yeah. I think that, obviously there's going to be some sort of performance requirements.
Certainly.
Like, okay, just like any sponsor, if you say, hey, Dunlop, will you hook me up with tires? And they say, okay, where's your resume? What have you done? How many races do you do per year? What's your average finish position?
Right.
And then everything is social media.
Correct.
What social media platforms are you on? How active are you on those platforms? How well liked are you? How many followers do you have? Unfortunately,
it becomes, what can you do for me?
It does, and that's it. It's like I said, we're trying to help each other out, but I'm not. I wish there was another way aside from social media, because I wish I just didn't have to have it. But right now we have to have it.
Sure.
For this stuff, and it is what it is. But Yeah, I would say aside from the performance, that stuff is a given. I think most parents understand that. Parents and just racers, if you,
Correct.
like you said, if they're in their 20s, 30s, 40s, and just there
Bring
is
it to
no
our attention.
yeah bring it to the shop and
There is a very humbling, enlightening thing to be part of this team. That if you were given that opportunity, Jim's very critical over who he picks and understands what it takes to be a winner. That's enough attention. It's just nice to be with you guys on a weekend, and you understand like how we get together as a team, and we put the truck together and we make a presence. That's something that you're just not going to get on your own.
yeah.
And if you can do that to a professional level and keep your contention, yeah, we'll entertain anybody.
Yeah. And you know what else? A lot of people may not know about the basement there. And the good times.
Cool.
It is, man. There's some vintage bikes
This
down there. It's
stupid COVID
yeah, it really
really can. Oh man, we had Jeff Stanton.
I was down there for Jeff.
Do you remember like you if you walk down the hallway, you can just look at the category of the caliber of people we've had down there, and they just went like bloop.
Yeah.
Somebody shut the knob off.
Yeah.
That was a big buddy's thing too as well, but Jim did it and he put it out there, and man, there were days I'd come to work at 6 in the morning and wouldn't leave till 11 just because I didn't want to.
Yeah. That's sweet.
Just great dudes hanging out. Yeah, we'll get back to that. We will for sure. The basement is cool. It's full of vintage memorabilia from flat track to road racing to off-road racing. Trevor Vine's freestyle bike that he threw in the ocean. It's all in.
Yeah.
It's a cool place to come hang out. Our shop is definitely driven by gearheads. Everybody there is a enthusiast. When you walk in the door, I hope that your reception of us is 100%. These guys are in tune.
And yeah, and I'm saying this, I'm being sincere when I say this. I walk in there, you don't feel tension, from employees that are like upset
Right.
that they have to be there or whatever. Like everyone's joking, everybody's busting balls and grinding gears, and it's just it's a cool environment to be in. I enjoy going in there. It's a half hour from me. I'll go, like I drove there today to pick up 2 little things.
Right.
I like seeing everybody, saying hi, and when you guys do have those events, and you have some ex superstars and current superstars, local racers, pros, whatever. Like
Right.
It's a cool spot, man. It's a real cool spot, and it's kind of not super.
Not really talked about.
Yeah, it's kind of underground.
It's as humble as what it needs to be to have respect, for sure. It's not something that like we're out to make a name for ourselves in that regard, but it's cool that we've all been able to tie it together. Jim's done what he's done, reached out to the industry. I think between him, Keith, myself, and John, there's over 200 years of in-field experience.
Yeah.
For real. I've done this since 95. It's all I know. It's all I ever want to do.
Yeah.
Same way with Jim. 76, that business was started, for people that don't know. It's been around that long.
Yeah.
And he's, like you say, a racer, and it shows. He gives. He's a giver.
Yeah. I was just thinking, Jeff Stanton was there, and he was signing autographs, and I was never really into famous people, like that whole like, can I have your autograph thing.
Right, you could stand right in front of him. You don't care.
Yeah, I was never that guy, but my stepbrother was a huge Jeff Stanton fan. When we were little kids, Jeff Stanton was winning. He was number 1, and my stepbrother was just all about him, blah, blah, blah. Well, I was like, I like Damon Bradshaw. And
Of course.
yeah, and so we had to pick our sides and whatever. And there was no real significant reason other than honestly, he was a good racer. Obviously he was fast and everything, but the name Brad was in his last
Bradshaw.
name, Bradshaw. So I was like, oh, that's cool.
Oh, that's my guy.
We have something in common. I'm like 10 years old. I don't even know how old I was, but anyways, I go down to Jeff Stanton and I'm like, hey, how's it going? He's like, all right. And I had a poster for my stepbrother. I'm gonna get it autographed for my stepbrother. And I said, hey, quick question. I said, back when you're in your heyday, I said, if there was one guy other than yourself that you would say was just a God-given, natural, fast, bad dude on a dirt bike, who would you say? And he goes, Damon Bradshaw. And I was like, yes. I knew it. Dude.
Validation.
Yeah, I was like a little kid all over again. I was like, yeah. It was
Those
funny.
are little things you'll get in our small shop on a Wednesday or Thursday night for sure.
Yeah.
If you are hip and privy to what we do down there, you'll get that.
Yeah.
It's cool. It's for sure. I remember Jared Tavis coming up and had a Jeff Emig old school triangular banner and just stuff that he kept as a child.
Yeah.
You'll bring it to a place and never a million years would you think you'd have a dude sign it or talk to you about a race or it's cool.
Yeah, very cool. And there's a lot of I don't remember who I was talking to about this, but there's a lot of racing in this area, period. Like cars, bikes, motorcycles, this, that, the other thing. Like racing is in this area, it's thick. And
It is.
a lot of people don't get it. We are kind of minorities as far as like if we're going to pick a sport to love. Like when I'm at work, I can talk to like one dude.
Right, because I don't care what the Browns did.
No, I never, ever,
Right.
ever cared about football or baseball or basketball.
Right.
I'm not ragging on people that like it.
But that was just never our intent.
That's your thing.
Right.
To each their own. But
Yeah.
for me, no thanks. So,
There's plenty of other weirdos like us around, believe me. I
Yeah.
see them daily.
but when I see them, I'm like, hey man, not literally, but
Right.
inside I'm like, you want to sit down and talk about dirt bikes for 3 hours? Because I got to get it all out.
Right. No, it's definitely, and that's the circle that we're trying to bring together. The dream, to back it all the way up. Yes, this was the dream, was to get a shop back out racing with a bunch of great guys that can put some notoriety into what we do. 10 years from now, when we can't do this,
Yeah,
it'll be something that maybe, hopefully, we started. It continues. It's
100%, dude.
it's what it needs to be. It's grassroots, if you will.
Yeah,
But it's a good positive thing, and it helps business, and it helps obviously another business, EROC. They don't do this for free. This isn't something that they just dreamt up one day. They have to have profitability. They have to have a venue. They want to do this, but to make it all go full circle takes a lot of different angles, and for us to be part of it and to just help
yeah,
and show our sincere, our best performance is what it takes. It's awesome. I couldn't be happier to be part of it.
yeah. I don't want to beat a dead horse, but like I talk about getting older a lot. I do.
Hey, that's we're never
But
gonna be younger.
I told you earlier when I was at the shop, I said, I don't know if I'm racing next year. I don't know what I'm doing next year.
Right.
I'll be involved somewhere or another, whether I'm racing or not. But and then Allison calls me out. She's like, "You say this. You've said this for the last 5 years, like, And she's like, and then middle of winter, you just start chomping at the bit. Blah blah blah. Well, turning 40, man, just getting older in general. you start thinking like, how many years do I have left? And you better start freaking appreciating the ones that you know,
Right.
like
Right.
I'd love to just race and till the end, all the way to the end, until I'm dead and gone. But that doesn't happen. So you never know when your last race is, or
Tell your ACL that.
yeah, right, yeah. But the icing on the cake, it's super sweet. This thing is cool. I'm when I say I'm appreciative, and just excited and humbled and all those things to be a part of this.
Right.
I mean it, man. I do. And some other people may not think of it the way I do, and that's fine. But I look at this as like just a giant moment in my life, like
For sure.
to be,
For sure.
to be part of something that's this cool.
I felt the same way. That the compelling thing, obviously, being industry driven, friends with you guys, possibility to ride, even just to be part of it as an outsider, having been injured this year, has been enjoyable from start to finish. And you're right, it's awesome.
Yeah, you can't take it for granted.
No,
Even
I can't. I wouldn't rewrite the script if I had it to do over again, just to learn a little bit of appreciation for myself. But it's been a great ride with all of you guys for sure, and I can't wait to do it again next year.
yeah, it's well, you know what? One step at a time, man. And
Oh, we got to get you on a championship first. Yeah. You
yeah,
got a couple rounds left before you
Yeah.
start kissing your own ass.
yeah. We got 3 rounds left, and like I said earlier, man, my competition is
Tight.
It's stiff competition, and some guys were like, "Oh, you're gonna go in 40A," and sandbag. I'm like, "Are you kidding me, dude?" Like that class,
Is hard.
these not just
But
Mark.
the 30A, 40A,
Yeah.
top 5 rows are in the top 10 overalls every week.
Yeah, dude, those guys are no joke. I rode, I've been around all those guys, and I laugh and joke with them on the starting line and
Right.
whenever I see them. But I respect them all. I've seen them all ride. They're all great, great riders. That's no joke. And yeah, I have a few rounds left, hoping to turn things around at Pine Lake. Pine Lake is in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
That is
29th.
the 29th.
29th is our next round. And then September 12th will be the 7th round.
Okay.
The final finish will be October 3rd.
Look at you. I don't even know these things.
I'm a nerd.
My life's on a calendar. I just look at the calendar.
Yeah.
Where am I going this weekend?
I look forward to it. I do. It's
And you're
a lifestyle.
of management. You have to be that way.
I am kind of nerdy.
I just have to clock in, clock out, do my job. you
No,
know?
I have to account for all you idiots.
Yeah, that's right. Shoot, man. But hey, our sponsors, I want to thank those guys. Everybody that jumped on board last minute was like, okay, great idea.
Here you go.
Yeah, Wassner, Pistons,
Thank you.
Ralph, and the guys out there. Thank you so much. FXR with the race gear, Pit MX, friends of mine. ProTune suspension, Corey down there, ProTune. Who am I missing? Moto Zealy, obviously, but this whole thing's been awesome, man.
Been a wild ride. I hope we can continue it.
Yeah. Am I missing anybody? I can't imagine being those pros on the line. They're like, I need to thank, and they have
Right.
they have 25 sponsors they got to rip off.
They have more money in goggle sponsorship than we have, and
Yeah.
it's all good.
Yeah. But
No, and you know what? To be honest, I hope that it only speaks volumes for next year.
yeah.
The level of professionalism that you guys carry, that our shop tries to continue. Maybe somebody else will give us a shot. Maybe we can get some more.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we can help ourselves and
Yeah.
and help this thing grow, because it's not a joke, and we all take this serious. And 100% do I want to see it grow. With or without me, my knee, you, whatever, I'll be part of this as long as it takes.
Yeah.
For sure.
Cool. Well, I think that wraps it up, buddy. And I appreciate you coming on.
Hell yeah.
And we got a little bit more work to do, and we're gonna ride this thing out and hopefully bring home some championships this year.
No more seconds out of you.
Yeah. All right, buddy. Appreciate it.
Absolutely.